Hello and welcome to Expo, and the transfer window is closed. It's been a crazy summer. We saw Ronaldo and Messi both change clubs, Jack Grealish broke the British transfer record, and Romelu Lukaku returned to Chelsea. And if you're a Newcastle fan like me, you've spent the summer banging your head against the wall at how bloody inept one football club can be. But anyway, enough about Newcastle. Today I want to look at the Premier League's best signings. I've listed the 20 best deals and made myself a little squad of the best Premier League signings of the summer. I've sent each player to Brentford, and they're going to be managed by the best new manager in the Premier League, the returning Rafa Benitez. So let me know how good you think this team is that I've built, and also let me know down in the comments who you think is the best signing of the summer. You probably think it's Ronaldo, but that's fine. I'm going to give the best signing squad one season in the Premier League, so let's see how they get on. But if you haven't already, drop a like on this video, whack the subscribe button, because it would really put a smile on my little ginger face. Okay, here we are at the start of the simulation. Here are newly promoted Brentford, except none of the players are actually Brentford players. Bar one, Christopher is there, but I thought he was a good signing. We've got 20 players here in this squad, 20 men who have moved to a Premier League club. They might have came from somewhere else in Europe, they might have came from a Premier League club, they might have came from a Championship club. It doesn't matter. This is the 20-man squad. A quick little caveat, however, I haven't got any of the deadline day deals, except for Ronaldo, because obviously we knew that was going to happen. If there was any big signings on deadline day, I mean, at the time of recording, there hasn't been anything particularly exciting to write home about. If there has been in the time between this video being recorded and going up, if there's been a big deal, sorry, I just couldn't do it because of time constraints. But realistically, nothing's going to happen, is it? I mean, let's have a little look at our squad. We've got two goalkeepers, Jose Sarr and Alphonse Areola. Goalkeepers, there weren't many great options, but I thought, Areola did well at Fulham last season. He's on loan again at West Ham. Sarr replacing Rui Patricio at Wolves could be a decent signing as well. We'll go to the defence. Cristiano Romero at Tottenham, great signing. Ibrahim Konate at Liverpool, think he'll be good when he gets some minutes under his belt. Ben White at Arsenal, I mean, it's kind of just out of what's the word I'm looking for? What is the word I'm looking for? It's not coming to us. Genuinely don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Anyway, with the amount of signings they've made, Arsenal, they were bound to have one or two players in this team, and they do. Ben White's one. I think he will be a good signing in time, but I mean, Mikel Arteta is probably not the right manager for the job. That's a question for another day. Also got Kurt Zouma at West Ham. I like that signing. Rafael Varane, the big sign at the back, already looked great on his Man United debut. The aforementioned Christopher Ayer at Brentford, he's had a great start. Left back, we've got Junior Firpo going from Barcelona to Leeds. Into midfield, we've got Boubakary Samer at Leicester, Martin Odegaard, football manager legend at Arsenal, Buendia at Villa, Jack Grealish at Manchester City. The Jadon Sancho deal to Manchester United, Trincao going from Barcelona to Wolves. Of course, Cristiano Ronaldo, the big signing. Romelu Lukaku up front, and also Danny Ings. In areas, it's a little bit of a lopsided squad, but I think this is a strong 20-man squad. But how well will they do in the Premier League? Christ, that was a tongue twister. Let's simulate. I'm going to simulate halfway through the season. We'll get to Christmas. We'll see where the land lies halfway through the season. See who's thriving. See who's not thriving. See who's flopping. That's the word I'm looking for. It's not the word from before. Christ, I best get my dictionary out. But anyway, let's simulate until Christmas. Let's see how the best Premier League signings of the summer get on in one super team. Right, we are halfway through the season. Almost. We played 16 games. And the Premier League signings of the summer are in Champions League contention. They've got 32 points, sitting in 4th. They're ahead of Chelsea, they're ahead of Man United, and they're also ahead of Tottenham. Tottenham, who are way down in 13th. Liverpool leading the way with 41 points. I mean, their team's largely the same. We've only taken Konate off them. But let's have a little look at Brentford. Actually, before we do that, you can see from the stats, none of our new boys are actually at the top of anything. I mean, of course, Chris Wood is the top goal scorer. There's no Ronaldo there. That's a little bit of a surprise. Let's check Brentford out, the Premier League All-Stars signings team. Romelu Lukaku's been given the captain's armband by Rafa Benitez. Let's check the players out, see who's been the absolute star. Selection info, that's the ticket. The best player has been Cristiano Ronaldo. What an absolute shock. Average rating 7.68, 6 goals and 2 assists. But I think what is quite surprising is, for all the big names, you've got Varane, Lukaku, Odegaard, who's obviously great on Football Manager, Jack Grealish. The second best player in this team is Emiliano Buendia. So well done to him, 4 goals and 5 assists. In terms of top goal scorer, we've got Romelu Lukaku leading the way with 10 goals in 17 appearances. See how many you've got in the Premier League. Let's have a little look. 8 of his goals coming in the league. So he's averaging just over a goal every other game. That's pretty, you can't argue with that. We'll have a little look at the schedule. Are they still in the Cups? They are not. They have been beaten in the League Cup on penalties by Aston Villa. Ronaldo got himself a brace, but it didn't matter. Based on this, it looks like the goals have been coming from Lukaku, Ronaldo, Buendia, Jadon Sancho has been there. Danny Ings got a couple of goals and a big win over Manchester City. Actually, this team have had some big wins so far. They got the first big win against Arsenal, and that was when they went down to 10 men. The week after, they beat Manchester City 2-1. They've beaten Tottenham 2-1. And they've just beaten Manchester United with Cristiano Ronaldo scoring against who are actually his new team. So we're about halfway through this new season, and the Premier League All-Star signing 11 are doing fantastic. Let's have a little look at the team they've just started with. Areola in goal, they've been playing 4-2-3-1, Ben White at right back, Firpo at left back, Varane and Konate at the back. But that was actually Konate's first appearance. Instead, I think it's probably been Kurt Zouma, who's now injured. Hold midfield, we've got Christopher Ayer and Jack Grealish. Across the front, Jadon Sancho on the right, Ronaldo on the left, Buendia in the 10, and Lukaku up front. One name I forgot to mention actually when we were doing the introductions, Billy Gilmour, he's in the squad too. Thought he was a great signing for Norwich on loan from Chelsea. In this simulation, he's mainly been a substitute, 13 appearances off the bench, more than anyone else in this entire squad. In terms of overall appearances, no one's played more than Jack Grealish, 18 starts. Behind him, Firpo and Sancho. Lukaku, he's had 17 starts, but Jack Grealish, he's been the most used player and probably the most disappointing. After 18 appearances, just 2 assists and an average rating of shy of a 7. But there's still a long way to go in this season, but we're off to a good start. I mean, when you compare this team to the actual other teams in the Premier League, this should be challenging for Europe. To get Champions League would be a real achievement. Let's simulate until the end of the season. Let's see if they can do it. Let's go. Okay, here we are at the end of the season, and the Premier League signings of the summer have finished 3rd, which, you know what, is damn good. They were 10 points behind the winners Liverpool. They were 9 points shy of Manchester City in 2nd. That's a lie, they were 8 points. Do your maths right, James, come on. They finished ahead of Chelsea, ahead of Arsenal, ahead of Man United, and ahead of Tottenham. A huge performance by these super signings. I mean, yes, I know there are some big players in this team, your likes of Lukaku, Ronaldo, Varane, Grealish, Sancho. I mean, should this team have gotten the Champions League? I mean, they have, so I mean, they've done pretty damn good. Let's have a little look at who's been the best player. It has been Cristiano Ronaldo with an average rating of 7.82, 19 goals, 6 assists, putting him ahead of his new Man United teammate Jadon Sancho. Also in the top 4, Rafael Varane, which shows what kind of business Man United have done this summer. 3 out of the 4 best players in this best signings squad are the Man United signings. In there as well, Romelu Lukaku, a former Man United player, he was the top scorer, 22 goals in 45 appearances. Buendia, he's done brilliantly. Martin Odegaard, done okay. Danny Ings, only 5 goals, but I mean, he's been playing behind Lukaku, so that's not really that surprising. Christopher Ayers had a good season, which is promising for Brentford. And Jack Grealish, for me, is the big disappointment. I mean, compared to these, he's the most expensive player in this team at £100 million. He got 8 assists, which is good, but his average rating only just above a 7. Another player I forgot added to this team, Valentino Livramento, who signed for Southampton. I mean, only 17 or 18 years old, but he looks good so far. And Brentford have already made a couple of signings as well, so I mean, it's kind of rendering this whole team pointless. But it doesn't matter because Conor O'Malley, Mislav Orsic and Georgian Dereskata barely played, so that's fine. Out of the players who I included who've not really featured, Boubakary Samer, only 10 appearances off the bench. Jose Sarr barely got a look in, it was always Areola the number 1. Billy Gilmour, mainly a substitute, 33 sub appearances. Trincao, same for him, subs. The only player who's consistently featured and not got more than a 7 average rating is Ben White, which is a little bit concerning for Arsenal, but I mean, they've got bigger issues going on right now. Let's have a little look at the schedule. We left things when they had just beaten Man United 3-1 at the Brentford Stadium, the Brentford Community Stadium. You know, when you just think, what on earth is a stadium called? I was going to say Griffin Park, but that's the old one. FA Cup, how far did they get? They made it all the way to the final, which is, they were so close to a trophy. Sadly, they were beaten by Liverpool 2-0 at Wembley. And if it hadn't been for such a bad finish to the season, this Brentford team were actually in contention for the title. They beat Leeds on the 20th of April 3-0, but they didn't win any of their remaining 6 games. So I mean, if you take that into consideration, they probably would have been a lot closer to the eventual winners Liverpool, which just shows how good some of these signings are. In terms of a best signing of the summer, I mean, yes, the easy option is Ronaldo, but I'm going to go Romelu Lukaku. I think he's the man who's going to take Chelsea to the Premier League title this season. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. I want to know what you think. I want your opinions. Let me know in the comments below. We will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I've just said that. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Alexpo. And until next time, we will see you around.